Hello, and in today's video we are doing predictions for match week number 27 of the 2023 to 24 season. That's right, the Premier League predictions are back on this Roberto the Hornet channel, and in today's video we're going to take you through each and every game in match week 27 over this coming weekend and get our crystal ball out and predict what will happen in each of the games. So obviously we've got reduced kind of games on the Sunday, not as many as usual, just the two. But we've got no 12:30 game either. So we start off with Brentford against Chelsea. Now Chelsea come off the back of that recent loss to Liverpool in the Carabao Cup final. A late Van Dijk header gave Liverpool the trophy, and Chelsea come into this really a bit up and down in terms of their form because they got that point up at the Etihad. That was a good result. But they also lost in the reverse fixture against Thomas Frank's side in earlier on in the season. So I think this is going to be a tricky game for Chelsea. They're going to be quite tired. Obviously, they had FA Cup as well in midweek against Leeds, which they got through just about 3-2. But this is not going to be an easy game for the Blues. Obviously, they definitely can win this game because they've got enough quality, the likes of Cole Palmer, the likes of Nkunku when he's fit. But I still feel Brentford will cause them a few issues because although Brentford did lose at the London Stadium on Monday night, and they have been struggling a little bit, Brentford, with keeping the goals out, they can get goals at the other end. And Johan Wissa scored against West Ham. You had Neil Mopai, who carries on his good run of form in a Brentford shirt. So yeah, I predict Brentford to get a couple here. But I don't think Chelsea will lose the game. I'll go for Brentford 2, Chelsea 2. In terms of goal scorers for this one, I think Neil Mopai will score the first one for the Bees. Then Chelsea will equalise with a goal from their midfield maestro, Enzo Fernandez. Then Chelsea go into ahead in the lead in the game with a second goal. And this time it will be from their defender. That is, yes, believe it or not, Thiago Silva. And then Brentford get their equaliser to make it 2-2. And this time, it's going to be a goal from Sergio Reguilon. Now, it's Everton versus West Ham United. Everton come into this, well, I do feel that their game against Brighton, they had a bit of a smash and grab because Brighton dominated all of that. And they went 1-0 ahead and you're thinking, how have Everton made a way of winning this game? But in the end, Lewis Dunk got the equaliser. Everton this season obviously not doing too well in the league, but they face a West Ham side who, they got their win against Brentford. It was an important win. Jared Bowen hat-trick, but outside of that game, West Ham have been in very, very poor form. So I think Everton will be looking at this game thinking, it's a decent shout for some points, but I still feel West Ham have enough in them to win this football match. So I'll say Everton 1, West Ham United 2. And goal scorers for West Ham, Mohamed Kudus, and also a goal for West Ham from Emerson. But then Everton's goal scorer, I think, will be Mr. Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Now we've got Fulham against Brighton and Hove Albion. Now Fulham, this season, they are looking quite okay. I mean, okay is the word, but they beat Man United last time out, a historic win, first in something like 18 years or 20 years at Old Trafford. So it's been a long time coming for them. And yeah, I think Fulham, they might be okay for this game because Brighton defensively have been a bit of a shambles, not keeping clean sheets. But we know that Brighton have got quality players on their day that can hurt you. Obviously, Mitoma is out for the season, so that's a massive blow, as is Ben Mee for Brentford. But I feel that Brentford, they will do okay in Chelsea game. And I think Brighton will do even better than Brentford and go one further, win this game. Fulham are going to lose this by 1-3. And Brighton's goal scorers, I think Brighton's going to get a goal from Simon Adingra. Then Fulham will hit back. I think Rodrigo Muniz will carry on his good form. But then 2 goals for Brighton. Firstly, I'll see one from Pascal Gross go in the back of the net. And then the third Brighton goal will go for one from, yes, it is going to be up front, Mr. Ferguson. Now, it's Newcastle versus Wolves. This is a game I feel Newcastle will actually fancy because off the back of Wolves winning in the FA Cup midweek against Brighton, I think Wolves will be a bit tired. Obviously, Hwang Hee-chan is out of the weekend game against Newcastle, so that's a big boost for the Magpies. And I feel that Newcastle, obviously they won in midweek against Blackburn. That's probably a good thing for them to get further in the competition in the FA Cup. But I think Newcastle will still be looking to strengthen their home form and just stop goals going, in the back of their net. But I think Wolves will score. However, Newcastle will win. Newcastle 2, Wolves 1. And goal scorer for Wolves, I think it will be one from Sarabia. But then Newcastle's goal scorers, well, let's say the first one comes from Alexander Isak. And then the second one, we're going to say is, how about, why not, Jacob Murphy. Okay, now it's Nottingham Forest, Liverpool. This is an interesting one. Forest this season have been defensively a bit suspect, but they can score goals. Taiwo Awoniyi has been a big part of that, and he obviously used to play for Liverpool and scored in this fixture last season to give Forest a historic win. So I think that Forest will actually score in this game, but I don't think Liverpool are going to lose this time. I think they're going to get the 3 points, the Reds, the Merseyside Reds, I should clarify, because, Liverpool, they did look really, really impressive in that Carabao Cup final, and that's with a lot of their players out, and obviously they won their game in midweek as well against Southampton with a lot of the kids, so their team is just an absolute joke at the moment. Nottingham Forest 1, Liverpool 4. Forest will score through a bit of Alanga, but Liverpool's goal scorers, Luis Diaz, will get the first for Liverpool. Then I think the next goal for Liverpool will come from their defender, that is, in defence with Van Dijk, it's Ibrahima Konate. And then the next goal for Liverpool, I'm going to say, comes through Mr. Harvey Elliott. So that's Harvey Elliott, Konate, Diaz, and the final goal for Liverpool will be an own goal from Forest defender. It is, or maybe he's a midfielder, I'm not sure. Niakate will score an own goal. Now, it's Spurs against Palace. This is a game I can see going the way of Tottenham because they've got, a lot of confidence this season, Tottenham. They've done very well. And although they did lose their last game against Wolves, I think they're going to bounce back because Palace, new manager, Oliver Glasner, has done okay. But he had a very, favourable game against Burnley, and got the point up at Everton. So I think Palace will struggle here. And I think even with the likes of Porro unlikely to play for Tottenham, you've got, the fact is Son, might be the only one here because they've got Richarlison out for a few weeks. So I think Spurs will win, even with some of their injuries. And I think it will be Tottenham 4, Crystal Palace 2. And Palace goal scorers, I think Palace will get the first goal. And this one will be from one of their fullbacks, that is Munoz. But then second goal for Palace, I think will be Mateta. Then Spurs make a great comeback from 2-0 down. They get goals from, firstly, we'll say Son Heung-min. The second goal for Tottenham, I think, will be Dejan Kulusevski. Then Kulusevski grabs a second in the game to make it 3-2. And then the fourth goal of the game will be another from Son Heung-min to make it 4-2 to Tottenham. Now, it's Luton v Aston Villa. This is a game I see Luton struggling in because although they did do well in the game last time out, I think Luton, they really went for it in that game. And, at the end of the day, their game was always going to be a tough one. I think with that game against Liverpool, they went for it. They went 1-0 up, but they just always were going to concede. And I think this is the sort of game where Villa will do that. I think Luton will, as they did at Liverpool, go ahead, Luton. But I think Villa will hit back with goals. So I'll say Luton 1, Aston Villa 3. Villa's going to concede first. A Luton goal coming from Alfie Dougherty. But then Villa's goal scorers, let's say it's going to be Yuri Tielemans, Ollie Watkins and Leon Bailey. Now, next up, it's Burnley against Bournemouth. Now, Dominic Solanke, as you can see on the picture, is a doubt for this game because he came as an injury doubt after their game in the FA Cup against Leicester, wasn't in the squad, and Leicester got the win in that one. So I feel like Solanke probably will play against Burnley, but there's no guarantee of it. I think as well, if he doesn't play, then they've got someone like Unal who can play up front. Obviously, he started against Leicester. And Burnley are in such poor form, it wouldn't surprise me if Bournemouth still won the game anyway. I think Burnley, they're just not doing well defensively, and even going forward, they just haven't scored enough goals. So I think Burnley 0, Bournemouth 2. If Solanke is fit to play, then I think he'll get 1. And then the second goal for Bournemouth is going to be Zabarnyi. But if the Solanke can't play, then I'd say maybe another Bournemouth goal will come from Semenyo. Now, the big one, Manchester City against Manchester United. It's the one we've all been getting excited about, the Merseyside derby. Jokes. Manchester derby. Just trying to see if you're on your toes there. It is a huge one. It is a huge one at the Etihad. Manchester United, they are in a bit of a pickle at the moment after losing to Fulham. And, you know, they did win their game against Forest in the FA Cup, but Man City, they hit 6 past them in this game last season. A double hat-trick from Foden and Haaland, respectively. So, Man United fans, where are you going to hide behind that sofa this weekend? Let's see. But I still feel City might not hit 6, but they'll still find ways to win this game. Man City 4, Manchester United 1. And Man United will score, I think, through Alejandro Garnacho. But then Manchester City goal scorers, I think there'll be 2 from Erling Haaland, then 1 from Phil Foden, and then the 4th goal, I think, will be from Mr. Bernardo Silva. Okay, now it's Sheffield United versus Arsenal on the Monday Night Football, and it's live. And Sheffield United, well, they are struggling big time this season. Arsenal, on the other hand, in a title challenge. And I think, genuinely, if they can't win this football match, then that is a real problem, a red flag for the Gunners. They have to dispose of this game for Arsenal. They have been in unbelievable form, and I just can't imagine it not continuing at Bramall Lane. Sheffield United did beat Arsenal in their first season up with Chris Wilder. A lot of people will remember that. A Lys Mousset goal, but I'd be very surprised if history repeated itself. Arsenal to win this one by 3-0. And goal scorers for Arsenal, William Saliba, I think will get the first, then a strike from Bukayo Saka, and the final goal for Arsenal, it's Gabriel Magalhaes. And those are our predictions for match week 27 of the Premier League. Get your score predictions in the comment section below, and I shall see you in the next one. Enjoy the weekend of football, everyone, and bye-bye.